compassionate, the most beneficent. All praise due to Allah. May peace and blessing be upon Muhammad and his progeny. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. When God descended the Quran on our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he organized the chapters of the Quran, نظم السور, and he also organized the verses of the Quran, and he asked the revelation reporters to write down what he organized. And until today, the same organization which those reporters wrote it down, it's with us. The same Quran which was before, today it's with us. Those revelation reporters, Kuttab al-Wahi, when they wrote down what the Prophet organized, the Prophet did not tell them, write the meaning of each word, write the meaning of each verse, analyze that verse and look to the grammar of that verse. He did not say anything from these things. So when we go back to the Quran, we will find that there are some verses. These verses, when we will get a glance, when we look to them, we could not get the whole description of the verse. Just we will find something like a category inside the verse without its elements, without its parts, nothing, just a word. And from here, we people say that we need a prophet, so we can hear him and we can also ask him about the meanings of these words and the meaning of the verses and so on. And at the same time, Prophet Spirit lifts up to the sky to whom she beloved. And after Prophet also we need some people, we need men, so that we can follow them. Here I talked about verses. These verses with a category, and we can't understand the elements of that category. I'm gonna give you some examples about what I'm talking now. First example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Inna as-salata kanat 'ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. Indeed, prayer is imposed upon the believer as a timed ordinance. So here, the verse is talking about prayer. Can anybody tell me when the companions, when the revelation reporters, when they look to this verse, can they know how many ruku', how many sujood, and what the things that they have to recite inside the Quran, inside the prayer? So this is a verse without description. God did not describe this category in the Quran. The second example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran was descended down as a guidance for mankind, a clear evidence of guidance, so whosoever of you witness the month, he shall fast therein. In this verse, God is talking about the month of Ramadan, talking about fasting. But he did not describe what's the meaning of fasting actually. He just said fast. And he did not tell us in this verse from what time to what time we have to fast and what the things that we have to leave while we are fasting. So here also we need someone. We need to ask someone, what's the meaning of fast? And from what time to what time we have to fast, and so on. I have here also another example. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. In the name of God, and purely for God, is the pilgrimage. Pilgrimage means Hajj. And purely for God is the pilgrimage to the house upon the people for those who can afford to journey. The same thing here, Hajj. You all know when you go to Hajj, you go around the Kaaba for seven times, and the same thing, Safa wal Marwa, and you are going to throw stones, and more than that, and all these things are not written in the Quran. So definitely, absolutely, we need someone to follow, we need someone to hear, we need someone to ask. But if we want to ask someone, he must has the science of all these things, and then we can ask him. Here I remember a story between Prophet Sulaiman and a goblin kind of jinn, and also his successor Wasi Sulaiman, his name Asif bin Barkhia. What did Prophet Sulaiman ask them? Prophet Sulaiman said بالعربي النبي سليمان سأل من الذي يأتيني بعرش بلقيس. Prophet Sulaiman asked them, who is going to bring for me the throne of Bilqis? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال عفريت من الجن أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك. والآية التي بعدها بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك فلما رآه مستقرا عنده قال هذا من فضل ربي. In the name of God, the Prophet Sulaiman, he asked the goblin, and he asked the successor, Asif bin Barkhia, his successor, he asked him, who's going to bring for me the throne of Bilqis? The Quran, you recite inside the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, a goblin from jinn said, I will bring her throne before you stand up. He means before you stand from your chair. The verse which comes after, who has the signs from the book, said, I will bring it to you before your eyes will blink. The goblin said, before you stand. The successor said, before your eyes blink, will blink. So after, and when he saw the throne beside him, he said, that is from my God bestowal. That is from my God bestowal. Here, the goblin want to bring the throne of Bilqis before the Prophet Sulaiman stands up. And at the same time, the successor of Prophet Sulaiman want to bring the same throne from Yemen to Palestine before the Prophet Sulaiman eyes will blink. Before that. Here when Imam Sadiq, I think Imam Sadiq, when he reached to these verses, somebody came to him and he asked him about those verses. Imam Sadiq said, Asif bin Barkhia, the successor of Prophet Sulaiman, he got signs. Inside the verse, you will find that the successor of Prophet Sulaiman has something from the signs. Here we recite it, who has the signs from the book. So he has signs from the book. Imam Sadiq said, we have the signs of whole of the book. We have the whole of the signs. We have the whole of the book. And Asif bin Barkhia, he just has signs from the book. We have the signs of the book. We have the whole signs. This is what Imam Sadiq meant. And he gave us an example. He said the comparison between Asif bin Barkhia and between us is as same as the mosquito. When mosquito go to the ocean and take a drop with its wing from the sea of the ocean. I think we call it mosquito, right? That's right. So he said the comparison between Asif bin Barkhia and between us, it's similar to the mosquito when it takes with its wing from the sea of the ocean. It's a drop, just a drop. If we compare it, the signs of Asif bin Barkhia, if we want to compare it with the signs of Ahlul Bayt, it's just like a drop of sea from the ocean. So, when we say that Ahlul Bayt, they have this knowledge, they have this science, still there are some people, they say that we are agree, those are a big scholars and we respect them, but we can't follow them in everything. We respect them as scholars, big scholars, Islamic scholars, and to hear it's enough. So our subject today, I'm talking about that after a prophet, that there are some people we have to follow. Some people we have to ask. And from here, I'm going to present for you two verses from the Quran, talking about whom we have to follow. And I'm going to present for every verse two narrations. And after that, I'm going to talk about another narration, a very Muslim famous narration. The first verse here, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. In the name of God, so ask people of zikr. Zikr here means Quran, and I'm going to recite another verse because the better way, if you want to know a word, a meaning of word inside the Quran, if you can find another verse has the same word, so you will get the same meaning. So ask people in the name of God. So ask people of Quran, of zikr, of Quran, if you don't know. It's the first verse. So here, if you want to find the meaning of zikr, another verse, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ لِتُبَيِّنَ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ. In the another verse, in the name of God, and we revealed the zikr, Quran, to you so that you might clarify to mankind what has been revealed to them. The first verse, it's plural. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. أهل الذكر, it's plural, more than one person. Those called أهل الذكر, people of Quran, as I recited. The another verse talking about singular, only the Prophet there. So if we want to talk about the first verse, so there must be the Prophet and another people also. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لا تعلمون. And you know, we Muslims, we have differences in our opinions, so we have to take the meaning of the verse from whom the Quran descended on them, like our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Here, the narration in Al-Basair. Basair is a book, a Muslim book. Imam Baqir, and in Kafi also another book, another source. Imam Sadiq. They say Al-Zikr is the Quran. See the same thing here. As I said before, when I went to the another verse, from there we get the meaning. The meaning is the Quran. And here the same thing in the narrations. Our Imams, they are saying the same thing without any difference. They say Al-Zikr is the Quran, and the people of Quran are Muhammad and his progeny. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Al-Zikr is the Quran, and the people of Quran are Muhammad and his progeny. And in the Kafi, in the same narration, Imam Sadiq added something. He said, Allah commanded all people to ask us. Because the first verse saying, so ask people of zikr if you don't know. So Imam Sadiq, he added something. In the second narration in Kafi, he said, Allah commanded all people to ask us. This is the first, if you can say first evidence. The second one, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraqu. And hold fast to the rope of gold, and hold fast to the rope of God all together, and do not be divided among yourselves. Here in this verse, I will talk about hold and about rope. Of course, everybody here, nobody, I think, he's going to imagine that the rope is a natural rope is coming from the sky until the earth. Of course, not that. So it's another rope. Here, God is commanding us to hold a rope. What is this rope? We have to hold it. A command came now and we have to hold this rope. So, and the tail of this verse, do not be divided among yourselves. Here the same thing, we have to go back to the narrations. In the book Al-Ayyashi, it's a Muslim book also, Imam Al-Baqir said, Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny, and Muhammad wa dhurriyat Muhammad, they are the thick rope of God which he asked. They are the thick rope of God which he asked. From other sources, you know, the commentaries, tafasir. Commentary means tafsir. In the commentary, here we have Al-Tha'labi, commentary of Tha'labi, and the book which called As-Sawa'iq Al-Muhraqa Ibn Hajar Al-Asqalani, and also a correct narration in the book which called Al-Mustadrak ala Sahihain, Sahih al-Bukhari wa Sahih Muslim. They narrated, when they reached to this verse, they narrated that Imam Sadiq said, we are the rope of God. We are the rope of God. So here, we have to know whom we have to follow, whom we have to ask, and to hear from these two verses, and I'm talking about many verses, but just I took two verses, and there are many narrations, I took only some narrations. So we have to follow by these two evidences, the first verse and the second verse, and the four narrations from the books, from the sources of the Muslims. We have to follow, we have to ask the Prophet and his progeny. We have to follow and we have to ask the Prophet and his progeny. The very famous narration which I say that I'm going to talk about, we call it Hadith al-Thaqalain, the narration, the Thaqalain narration. ثقلين is plural. The singular of ثقلين is ثقل أو ثقل. ثقل. ثقل in Arabic means the luggage, which when the person wants to travel to somewhere, he will take with him a luggage. So here the Prophet, before he narrate this narration, he said that I am going to die after a few days. And I want to advise you, I want to commend you. So قال الرسول الأعظم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إني تارك فيكم ما إن تمسكتم بهما لا تضلوا بعدي أبدا أحدهما أفضل من الآخر كتاب الله، هذا أولهم، حبل ممدود من السماء إلى الأرض وعترتي أهل بيتي حتى يرد علي، لن يفترق حتى يرد علي الحوض فانظروا كيف تخلفوني فيهما. هذا الحديث في صحيح الترمذي في أكثر من مصدر، ولكن باعتباره هذا الكتاب صحيح فاخترناه. In Arabic, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, after me for you people, if you hold these two things, you will not get lost. One of them is better than the another. The Quran, this is the first thing. The Quran is a robe descended from the sky to the earth. And my progeny, Ahlul Bayt. This is the second thing. And those two things will not be separated until they come back to me in front of the pond, Hawd al-Kawthar, pond of Kawthar. So people, look how you are going to treat with them, with those two things. So the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he led for the people two things. He did not went away from this life without leaving thing. And here we have two scholars, Muslim scholars. One of them called Al-Manawi. Al-Manawi said, when he reached to this narration, he said, Quran and the progeny of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in this narration, they are twins. Prophet kept them and he commanded followers to hold them and to follow them in religion. And another scholar also, Muslim scholar, he said his name is Ibn Hajar al-Makki. He is from Makkah maybe. His name is Makki, whom belonged to Makkah. Ibn Hajar al-Makki said, the Prophet commanded us to follow his progeny and to learn from them. How you will learn if you don't ask? So you have to follow, you have to ask, and you have to learn. And those two things, Quran, the Prophet progeny, they are twins. So the Prophet wants us to follow his progeny. And he told us more than one time, please people, treat my progeny, treat the Quran, treat the progeny with respect. But tell me what did the people did with his progeny? One of them was hated while he was praying, and the another was poisoned. Here, I just give a glances about what happened on the progeny of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And I'm asking the permission to talk about what happened to the son of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein, while the Prophet praying, Imam Hussein and Hassan climbed on the back of Prophet, and he did not stand or he did not sit. He made the sujood until Imam Hassan and Hussein went down from his back. Ali al-Akbar, he's the son of Imam Hussein. Ali al-Akbar mother's name is Layla. She was in Karbala. His grandmother name Maymuna, the daughter of Abu Sufyan. He was unbeliever, Abu Sufyan. That's why they told Ali al-Akbar, when they saw him in Karbala, leave your father Hussein and come with us, because he is a relative to Abu Sufyan. But what did Ali al-Akbar say? What did he answer? I don't want to be the grandson of the woman which ate the liver of the martyr Hamza, the uncle of the Prophet. In Karbala, who saw Imam Hussein there? Who saw Imam Hussein in Karbala say, they saw Hussein dying 3 times. The first time when Ali al-Akbar asked the permission from his father to enter the battle, and the women around him crying, saying, God, send your mercy on us. We are strangers here. They said the second time they saw Imam Hussein dying, when he saw his son returning back from the battle, and he was wounded, he was bleeding and thirsty, and he said, Father Hussein, I am very thirsty. Imam Hussein hugged him. Imam Hussein hugged him to him chest, and he shed tears. And the third time they saw Imam Hussein dying, when he heard Ali al-Akbar saying, while he was wounded, laying in the middle of the enemies, salam from your son to his father, assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Sukaina said, I saw my father dying and his spirit want to get out from his body. And Imam Hussein shouted, son, God kill who want to kill you. Condolence to you Muslims, Ali al-Akbar got the permission to fight. The women shouted, Imam Hussein said, God, you are our witness on those people who went to them. Now he is similar to the Prophet in his face, manners and moral. And if we want to remember the Prophet, we look to his face. Condolence to you Shia, condolence to you Muslims. Ali al-Akbar while going to fight, he said, I am Ali ibn al-Hussein ibn Ali. I swear the master of Kaaba, we are the progeny of the Prophet. I will hit with my sword defending my father. A hit of a young Hashimi man. He entered the battle. While he was fighting, he killed some and some stabbed, and he stabbed some and defended himself from some warriors. He went to the middle of the battle. He was very brave, and the enemy, they thought Ali ibn Abi Talib raised from his grave from what they seen from him. And his mother Layla beside her husband Hussein, looking to his eyes, she saw him happy, and so she was happy. Suddenly Imam Hussein was afraid. She said, what happened to my son? He said, nothing, I'm just afraid of my son from one who came to fight him. She said, Master, what I do? He told her, go to your tent and ask God to return back your son. She went inside and she said, you return back Joseph to Jacob. Please return my son back to me. Allah accept her dua. Ali al-Akbar killed Bakr bin Ghanim. He returned back, but he asked for the reward from his father. What was that reward? He asked his father, I want to drink some water. I feel my liver burn. How I will return to the battle, Father? And I am thirsty. He told him, from where could I bring the water for you? And my heart and your heart burning from thirst. Then he said, Ali, go to your mother before she dies. She is inside the tent. He went to the tent. He saw her laid down. He took her head in his lap. He took her head in his lap. He put it on his lap and he shed tears. tears on her face. She waked up from his tear shed and she was happy, but he must return back to the battle. He said, Ali is saying at the last moment, goodbye, Father Hussein, goodbye, mother. And he returned back to the battle. He said, goodbye, father, goodbye, mother. And he was fighting there and fighting like the heroes. Ya Faraj Allah, Ya Baqiyat Allah, Ya Faraj Allah, Ajarak Allah, Munqidh al-Abdi, Hitam his head with the sword, then he stabbed Ali in his back. He hugged his horse and the horse took him to the enemies. He said with a sadness sound, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. You're my grandfather, Prophet Muhammad quenched me from thirst. Imam Hussein went to him, same as the eagle, want to save and he said, how I am going to leave after you, Ali. Ya Allah, heal every sick person, return every prisoner, every stranger to his country. God, we ask you the intercession of Muhammad and his progeny. Accept us to the most compassionate, to the most beneficent. All praise due to Allah. May peace and blessing on Muhammad and his pure progeny. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. My brothers and sisters, we always have this problem and dilemma when we come to the season of Muharram and the 10 days and nights, is when the Sheikh is presenting his speeches and reciting the musibah or the death, the martyrdom part of the story, that the voice gets affected quite badly. And we want to preserve Sheikh Salah's voice for tomorrow because they're the most important nights. So we're going to postpone our questions and answer session until tomorrow. It's better to postpone it than lose his voice for the two most important nights, tomorrow and night after tomorrow. So with your blessings, inshallah, we'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow is the night of the 9th day of Muharram. It's a great night. We will commemorate the youngest martyr in the story of Karbala, Ali al-Asghar, Abdullah Radi',
We shall meet here at 7:30. Those of you who haven't gone to the tour around Banama, this is the last chance you have. The small tour will move from the gate at 10:30, and the brothers at